Okay. Nick, thank you for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And so Les Miserables is coming next week, Tuesday. Can you share a little bit about the show for people that might not have seen it? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of the best shows out there. It's been around for a while, and it's just a really exciting musical about family, about redemption, about kind of good versus bad, and how complex those two things can be depending on your perspective. It's also got incredible songs that a lot of people I think probably know
Mhm.
without realizing they know that it's from Les Miserables.
Right.
And yeah,
So exciting. And you play Inspector, is it Javert? Am I saying
Javert, yeah,
Javert?
yeah.
And tell us about that role. You need to
Well,
work French.
it's a dream role for me. It's when I was a kid, I would listen to the Broadway cast recording, and I had this little recorder, and I would record myself trying to sound like the guy playing this part. So for me to get to
Oh
play
my,
it now, 20 years later, is just the greatest honor of my life. It's so special.
what a
He's
full circle moment.
It is. It feels that way. It feels really, really special. He's kind of the bad guy,
Okay.
um, but I think he's just doing his job. You know, when you play the villain, you kind of have to figure out how to humanize them and figure out who they are, and so there's this kind of like polarity of him versus the other main character, and who's doing the right thing, and that's kind of part of what's so exciting about the show.
Oh my gosh. When did you get the call that you were going to be in East Lansing?
Oh, so while I was auditioning for the show, back in July, I was able to see the schedule of cities online, and that was part of why I was like, oh, I have to get this job. A, because it's a dream show for me, and B, because to get to do my second week with the show in East Lansing would just be so, at the Wharton Center too, where I've seen, made just pivotal impact on my life, seeing things at
Absolutely.
the Wharton Center.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was going to be one of my questions. Like you grew up with Wharton Center in your backyard.
Yeah,
How is
yeah.
it? How many shows and maybe a favorite show or what impact it's had on you?
Well, I mean, I remember seeing The Lion King tour, which I think was the first like Broadway tour I ever saw.
Okay.
I just remember, I mean, it's such a huge theater, it's such a huge show. And I remember sitting in like the fourth or fifth row, just gobsmacked by it.
Oh.
And then I I actually skipped my prom to see Mandy Patinkin in concert at the Wharton Center.
Oh. That's
And my date came with me to see that, and then we joined the end of prom, which was kind of a funny story in
a
retrospect,
fun night.
how much I cared and loved, theater
Yes.
at the time. But so it really was a special place for me.
So you grew
Um,
up going there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
neat. Have you performed at the Wharton Center before? Or is this your first time?
You know, I was thinking about that today, and I feel like maybe we did something with choir at some point, but never a show, or I've never toured. I've never done anything like this. So it feels very special to bring this show
Oh,
home.
I can't imagine how much. Does your family still live in the area? Like, will they
I
be
do.
there?
And actually, my dad's he works at MSU, and my parents live in a house that they can walk to the Wharton Center. So they're thrilled. I
Oh
think
my
everyone
gosh.
in my neighborhood's coming to see it, which is just, once again, so special.
All the tickets. You need all the tickets.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's so great. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, it's so exciting.
yeah,
Well, going back to the Haslett part of this, do you
yeah.
have any advice like for young adults going into this career if they were thinking about it? Like best piece of advice?
Well, I mean, I'm just so lucky I went to Haslett, because I wouldn't be doing this without the teachers there, without Wangaman and Vala and everybody there who I kind of took choir because it was a requirement, and then I fell in love with this, and now I'm doing this for a job. So I think
Oh
the
my God.
advice I would give is just do as much as you can. There's so many different paths towards this. There are people who go to school for it, people who go to school for something else, and then come into this. But I think as long as you're training and taking voice lessons, which I started doing with Trey Jacobs in the eighth grade. He was my voice teacher in high school. He saw the show in Louisville last night, which was
Oh
so.
my gosh.
I still have these connections with these teachers. There are people coming to see the show in East Lansing who taught me 20 years ago. It's just, I think invest in education in this. Take voice lessons, take acting classes, in whatever way that means. It can mean college or locally or,
Mhm.
New York City like I did or whatever. I think that's my advice.
That's incredible. Who are a few of your role models? I know you've mentioned a few, but is there others
Yeah, in terms of like in the business or,
in the
or
business or
teachers.
anywhere, in any part of your
Well,
life?
the man who originated this role on Broadway, Terrence Mann, was a huge inspiration to me growing up, and I think a lot of what he does with the part is sort of imbued in what I'm doing with it, while also trying to have my own unique take on it. But yeah, I mentioned Mandy Patinkin. He's an absolute favorite of mine. I've had when I was in high school, I went to New York and I saw Danny Burstein in South Pacific at Lincoln Center, directed by Bart Shear. And then I got to do Fiddler on the Roof with Danny Burstein and Bart Shear in
Oh,
2015, which was another just like incredibly wonderful full circle moment. And he's been a friend and supporter since then. And it's just it's a special thing to get to do. And there are people that you kind of collect along the way. And
right. And you've
so
kept in contact with as well.
yeah, yeah,
Had some
yeah.
full circle moments in your
Very
life.
much. Yeah. I don't think anything feels quite as special though as bringing Les Miserables to East Lansing.
Oh, what do you hope people walk away after the show? Like what feelings or thoughts or what do you want them to walk away with?
Well, it's thrilling. I mean, when I joined the tour, the first thing they had us do was sit in the fourth row and watch the show.
Oh wow.
And I was just blown away by it. And I was excited to do it before I saw it. And then getting to see it, I was like, oh, it is as special as it's been, and maybe even more. I mean, this is kind of the definitive production of Les Mis that's out there right now. And the cast that is doing it right now is wonderful. So I hope people are thrilled by the production and the singing and the acting in the show. I also hope that there's a kid out there who comes to see the show and like I did when I saw The Lion King at the Wharton Center and went, wow, that's something people do. I mean, as a job or for fun or anything, I just think being involved in the theater, being involved in performance, using your voice is so important. I hope there's some kid out there who sees the show and goes, hey, that's really cool. You
I'm
know?
pretty sure there will be. There will. When you come back to East Lansing next week, do you have some favorite things that you want to do?
Wow. Oh, I
When's the last
mean,
time you've been here?
I do come back a lot, which is
You?
great.
Okay.
Yeah, I do get to come back a lot. My niece is 4 years old, so I'm
Um,
gonna go see my niece and my family and my parents' dog Gus. I think those are the two things.
your most favorite?
Pet my dog and see my niece.
Any favorite restaurants that you need to see or must do's?
Wow,
It's a tough question.
good. That's a good question. What's so funny is, I mean, when I was growing up, I was obsessed with all the chains. I was at the Panera and the Chili's. There are so many wonderful local restaurants, but every time I come
But
home,
that's
I
what
just
teens do.
exactly. Yeah. So I'll have to figure that out and get back to you.
Okay.
We'll go somewhere exciting and
Yeah, you
yeah.
have a whole week. Hopefully it's good weather
Yeah.
while you're here too.
So yeah.
Was there anything else that we should know about the show or next week? Or
Um, no, get your tickets now. The show's selling and it's really exciting. We've had really wonderful audiences so far, and I've gotten to be in the audiences. I've been rehearsing on the road, and seeing the show with people and hearing them talk about the show has been really exciting. And yeah, it's just an honor to get to do it. And I'm so excited to see all my friends and teachers and family next week.
well, we're so excited to see you. And hopefully, I don't know if there'll be a talk back or not. Maybe we can meet up or something.
I would love to figure that out. I
Yeah,
know
I'll
that
get with Bob Hoffman and we'll do that.
great. Yeah, I'm doing a little Instagram takeover of the Wharton Center on Friday, so people can follow
Oh,
me with like a day in the life at the theater at the Wharton Center on
oh,
Friday.
okay, that's incredible. Is that next Friday then?
Next Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll be sure to share that on our page so people see it.
Hey, thank you. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, Nick. This has been great.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it.
We can't wait for next week. The show is yes, it starts October 8th. It'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.